So today we're on a hog confinement barn here in northwest Iowa where we've been pumping subsurface drip irrigation both with water and hog manure. So this is a deep pit barn. It's got an 8-foot pit where the manure drops through the slats, and we've got the manure in underneath the barn. We blend it with water and we're injecting it right into this corn crop here in the middle of August in northwest Iowa. So behind me here in this white shed, we've got the filter station set up. This water comes from a pond source that's about a quarter mile away to the south, and we are pumping the water in from the pond into the filter station. We've got sand media filters pumping about 150 gallon a minute of water, and then we're blending in about 35 gallon a minute of manure from our manure separation trailer. The ratio we're currently running today is about 5 parts water, 1 part manure. We potentially can get that mix up to about a 1-to-1 depending on the size, the water source, depending on the water supply, size of the drip system, the consistency of the manure. Every farm is going to be a little bit different on that ratio that we're going to be able to achieve. Let's come around the corner here and we'll show you the equipment we've got set up. We're in our 4th year of testing with separation equipment on hog manure. What we've got is a regular manure pit, a deep pit, a pump out. We're pumping out the liquid manure with solids, and from there we go to the screw press as our first step. The screw press is removing the large solids, so it takes out the hair, the corn hulls, all the large particles that are in the manure. It drops the byproduct out of the screw press, which is a dry solid. It's about 70% moisture, 30% solids, which is going to be similar consistency to corn silage. It goes up into this first tank, and this tank has a small submersible pump in it. And then from this tank, it's getting pumped into the microfilters. And the microfilters are really the new piece of equipment. They're the new piece of technology that's allowing us to do and to remove these small particles. So the screw press is removing the large particles, and the microfilter is removing the small solids, and those small solids are small enough that they will go ahead and pass on through a subsurface drip irrigation system and won't plug anything up. So that's a 500 mesh filter on the microfilter, or a 35 micron is what we're filtering this to. So currently we're running about 35 to 40 gallon a minute of clean product that's going to the drip system coming off of these microfilters. So here on the back, you can see the clean liquids coming out the bottom discharge, and that's going into this tank. So that's our clean product. And then on the top is what's called a thickened sludge, and that thickened sludge is being returned back into the pit down in a different pump out. So it's circulating through the system, returns back into the lagoon. Manure right now, we're getting about 40 gallon a minute of the clean product that's headed to the drip system. This pump speeds up and slows down, keeps the right amount of liquid going out. We've got a level rad or a transducer in there that's connected to a VFD that's speeding that pump up and slowing it down. We'll go around to the pile of solids and show you the solids that comes off of this. These are the dry solids we're getting out of the screw press. You can see there's a lot of hog hair in here, a lot of corn hulls, all the byproducts in that manure. So this product could be composted, it could be hauled. We've got organic producers that would be excited about this high phosphorus. It's got a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of potassium in it as well. That's really the only byproduct that comes out of this process is the dry solids, and then we have our clean manure product going to the drip system. So this is our water supply we developed here on this project. We've got 120 acres we're irrigating. About 30 of it's in corn and the balance is in alfalfa. There was just a regular waterway drainage ditch. There's about 300 acres that drains into this through tile drainage. And the landowner here didn't want to give up a lot of land for a large dam and water holding structure. So basically we got an excavator in and just dug this out. It's about 15 foot deep, 80 feet wide. And it goes up around the corner. I think it's roughly 1,000 feet from the start to finish. So this is basically what we would call a dugout. Holds enough water to irrigate 2 inches on 120 acres. So with that type of situation, we have to start watering before the soil, or before it gets dry. So we're watering here, I think we started in the 1st of June. We have soil moisture probes out here that we're using to keep the soil profile full, because we know eventually those tiles are going to stop running. This is going to quit filling up, and then all we've got left is those last 2 inches. So we started early here. I think we've applied somewhere between 3 and 4 inches. We've got about another inch to go to help finish this crop off. So just something to think about as you look at places where you can develop water. Look at those tile drainages, look at areas where large tiles flow together and what we can do to capture that tile water, hold it here on the farm, and recycle it back through a drip irrigation system. It's a real win for the environment. It's a great water supply for the farmer. Here, a good well would be 20 to 40 gallon a minute, which just isn't going to be enough to water this many acres. Being able to use other water supplies, surface water, other things like that to help supplement the rainfall that we're getting here in the Corn Belt. So we're using a floating pump here. We've got a centrifugal pump mounted on the bottom side of that motor that you see that's actually in the water. So this is a self-priming system. As soon as we turn it on, we've got water. There's no need to prime this system. So as the pond level comes up and down, these are really simple units to work on, simple to prime, to put them in the spring, take them out in the fall. It's about as simple as a pumping system as you can get. Get along really well with this. This, I believe, is a 25 horse unit. We're pumping water up the hill, feeding this 120 acre drip system. This pump has a capacity, I believe, of 350 to 400 gallon a minute.